Hello, welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shante Roddy. I am coming on today to talk about the big announcement from the SBA regarding the Restaurant Revitalization Fund or grant program, as it's otherwise known as, for all of those that are entrepreneurs, small business owners in the restaurant industry. So because they made this big announcement, we know that the applications are going to be opening up in the near future. So they provided the guidelines. And so I'm going to review that, tell you everything that you need to know to get prepared so that you are already ready when they open up their application portal. Okay. So do come on in. Let me know who you are, where you're hailing from. Let me know that you can hear me and see me, because we always want to make sure that those that are viewing now or later can hear and see all the information that you need to know in order to get a financial lifeline for your business. Okay. Just as a reminder, this program is part of the larger $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan Act. There is $28.6 billion that is allocated towards this restaurant fund. You, as a small restaurant business, have the ability to get up to $10 million for your business. Okay. So do come on in, do subscribe if you have not subscribed already. We always appreciate all of our fans and our followers, our community of bosses out there. Do give this a thumbs up. Tag those you know who you believe are eligible. Now I'm going to read through or walk through who all is eligible. And it's a long list. So don't count yourself out. You may be saying, I'm not a restaurant, but I have a food truck or I have a food stand. The list of what makes you eligible is long. So it's possible and mostly probable that your business can be included in one of those that are eligible. But we want to make sure you have all the information you need to know and what you need to know in order to make sure that you can submit a successful application. I'm also going to be sharing my screen, walking through some of the information that is available on the SBA website. This is a reminder for those that are coming on. This is the Restaurant Revitalization Fund and Grant Program to be able to provide a financial lifeline to those businesses that have been hardest hit. Tag an entrepreneur, tag a small business owner, and we're going to begin walking through the process. Okay, so I'm going to go, the website has been updated. When I say the website, this is the SBA website. Their SBA website is sba.gov, as I always say. You will know it's the SBA if it has the .gov extension on it, whether it's the website, whether it's the email that you may receive from the SBA. This is important for you to know, so you know that it's legitimate and where the information is coming from and who to respond to or reply to regarding your application. So I'm getting ready to share the first screen. I want to make sure everyone sees this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the official announcement that the SBA made. Let's go there first. I want to make sure you see my screen here. And you may not be able to read everything. I'm just going to walk you through it so we're clear on where we're at. So the applications have not officially opened. The SBA made an announcement regarding the application. That means that they're getting ready. They're preparing. They're telling you, giving you all the information about the program, providing the program guidelines. They made an official announcement. Isabella Gunsman, who is the chief of the SBA. Now on here, I want to read through this specifically because before they're getting ready to roll it out, but how they're going to do this is that they are actually going to launch the process, and they're going to establish a 7-day pilot program. It's called a 7-day pilot period for the application portal to conduct extensive outreach and training, as well as to be able to work through and address any technical issues. Okay, so what they want to do is avoid what happened when they launched the Shutter Venue Operators Grant last week, and where they opened it and it crashed almost immediately, and so they're still working through those issues. So they're going to have some small business owners that will help them pilot the program so they can work through those issues. And then over the next couple of weeks, they will then, after that, open up the application portal. Now, before they do that, they will also make another announcement stating that the application portal is open. One thing that you should know is that after or following the pilot program, once the application portal is open and they start accepting applications from the public, for the first 21 days that the program is open, the SBA is going to prioritize certain applications. Those applications are small businesses that are women-owned, veteran-owned, or owned by those that are socially or economically disadvantaged individuals. That may mean that you are a minority, or you may be in an underserved area. Okay, so those that are disadvantaged or underserved communities will be first in line to have their applications processed. That's the first 21 days. So I said with all of these programs, they're doing it in waves or in phases. So it's important to know where you may come in. That doesn't mean that you can't submit your application, but it does mean that for the first 21 days, they will not be reviewing your application unless you fit into that category. After that, then they will start reviewing all additional applications. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And as while you're on here, as I'm going through this information, if you have specific questions, please, this is the time to ask your questions now. I'm going to actually go next to I'm going to try to go to the website for the SBA. Let me just make sure that is on here. This is the restaurant funding application sample. I'll go through that in just a second, but I really want to make sure that I actually go through the program details for you first, and then I'm going, because the SBA has actually given a sample application, so you know ahead of time of what it looks like, what will need to be filled out. So you can do that ahead of time and just be ready for when the application portal opens. I highly recommend that. So this is a reminder, the applications are not open. They provided the guidelines. They do have the application in a form, a PDF form that you can work with, use to get prepared for when this opens. So I'm right now on the website, the SBA website. You can see the Restaurant Revitalization Fund is under their tab. You can find this a number of ways. Under their coronavirus resource or funding tab, you can even do a Google search on the Restaurant Revitalization Fund and be able to find this as well. On this page, they give you a lot of information. It actually starts with a table of contents, going over the program details, any supplemental documents. You really want to pay attention to that. Program details, supplemental documents. They're telling you how to apply, who can apply. They're going to talk about some set-asides, funding amounts, allowable use of the funds, which is always important, and ways to get additional help. So they will be providing a lot of outreach regarding this, because we know I know a lot of restaurant owners that aren't on social media. They still don't know about a lot of these programs that are happening. That's why I'm asking you to tag your friends that you know have a restaurant or in the restaurant industry. Let them know about this video, share it with them, let them know that this program is coming on board and to get ready to apply. Now, this, as I mentioned before, this Restaurant Revitalization Fund is providing help to restaurants and eligible businesses. You can get up to $10 million per business, but no more than $5 million per physical location. Recipients are not required to repay this funding. Again, it's a grant. It is not a loan. Okay, so you're not required to repay the funding as long as the funds are used for eligible expenses no later than March 11th, 2023. So I mentioned before, because I think this is my either second or third video on the Restaurant Revitalization Program. This is one of those grants that you have to use the money. You have to use the funds or they can take it back. Okay, so that's going to be important to know, but you have until March 11th, 2023 to utilize your funds. So it's important that you keep all your documentation. One thing that I will note on here, they have a place where you can sign up to receive email alerts to get additional information about this program. You definitely want to get on their email list so you are one of the first ones to be notified when this grant application opens. Okay, when they open, they will shoot an email to everybody who signed up to be alerted. They will keep you up to speed on progress and what is happening regarding the grants. There's a supplemental documents, including the Restaurant Revitalization Program Guide, as well as the sample application. They refer to this application as SBA Form 3172. So we'll come back to that in just a minute. Let's talk about who can apply. So I said it's an extensive list. So maybe you don't consider yourself a restaurant. Who can apply for this grant program? If you're a restaurant, if you have a food stand, food truck, food cart, right? Are you a caterer? If you know someone who is, please tag them in this video. Bars, saloons, lounges, taverns. So if you serve alcohol or beverages, not necessarily food, this is for businesses that serve food or drink to the public, where the public comes to you to make a purchase to buy food or drink. Okay, so that means that this list is extensive. Snacks. Do you sell snacks or non-alcoholic beverages or have a beverage bar? Right? Are you a bakery? On-site sales to the public, where on-site sales comprise of at least 30% of your gross receipts. So you will see or hear me talking about some of these listings where you will have to be able to demonstrate at least a certain percentage that they have it for their criteria of your sales or of your gross receipts. Gross revenues is another term, goes towards bakery, right? So some businesses may be doing two different things. So if you're a restaurant and an event center, you would need to determine what percentage of your gross receipts goes to a specific area. Brew pubs, tasting rooms, tap rooms. So on-site sales to the public must comprise of at least 33% in gross receipts. Brewery. So do you have a brewery? You sell beers, that's your thing. A microbrewery, same. On-site sales 33%. If you have a winery or distillery, you are included in this as well. If you have an inn, on-site sales of food and beverages to the public must comprise of 33% of your gross receipts. So again, even if it's not a restaurant, you have a hotel or some type of an inn, and at least 30% of your gross receipts goes to food and drink, you would qualify for this program. Licensed facilities or on-premise beverage alcohol producers where the public may taste, sample, or purchase products is eligible. This includes also if you have food stands in airports, that would be included as well. So again, it's an exhaustive list on who can apply for this program. Now, I'm going to move over here to the FAQs from the Restaurant Association really quickly. If we can get it up on the screen here. I'm going to leave that on how to apply, but I'm going to quickly go over and just run through really quickly on what makes you ineligible, because I want to make sure we cover that as well. Just so that you know if you are ineligible for the program or not. Okay, so you're ineligible for the following reasons. As of March 13, 2020, the entity owns or operates together with an affiliated business more than 20 locations, regardless of whether those locations do business under a sample, the same or multiple names. So you, as a restaurant, right, or an entity that's included, you cannot have more than 20 locations for your business. Okay, that would disqualify you. You also cannot receive the Shutter Venue Operators Grant, which is known as the SVO grant, or has a pending application. So we know right now the portal for the Shutter Venue Operators Grant is shut down. They're not accepting applications until they reopen. You need to decide whether you're going to apply for the Shutter Venues Grant or the restaurant grant. You cannot get both. You cannot qualify for both of those grants. So maybe you're an event center and you also could qualify for your live venue center, right? Or organization or company, and you also would qualify for the restaurant grant. Then you need to make a determination which one you're going to apply for, because you can't apply for both and you will not be able to get funded for both. The entity is a public traded company. If you're publicly traded, you will not qualify for this. Entity does not have a place of business located in the U.S. and does not operate primarily within the U.S. And its territories, or make a significant contribution to the U.S. economy through payroll taxes or use of American products, materials, and labor. The entity is a state or local government owned or operated business. You also are ineligible if you are permanently closed. So if your business was open and you permanently close your doors, you will not be able to apply for this particular grant program. The entity filed bankruptcy under Chapter 7 or is liquidating under Chapter 11. You will not qualify. And then lastly, the entity has filed for bankruptcy under Chapter 11, 12, or 13, but does not have an approved plan for reorganization. Okay, so then you would not be eligible for this program. So I hope that makes sense for everyone that is out there. Yes, it is a lengthy application. Again, this application is up to $10 million. So you can expect that they are going to be asking you for a more detailed information. But they're trying to keep it as simple as possible, where it's not as burdensome, but they can properly vet to make sure that they're giving the grants to the right people. Now, how to apply. So it's also giving you on the SBA website a link here. And once you click the link, you can open up a document to see all of the other relief programs and how they cross interact. So what you should know is that you cannot apply for the Shutter Venues Grant, but you can apply for a Paycheck Protection Program. You can apply for the EIDL loan program. So it goes into detail about how those cross interact, when you can use the funds versus using other relief funds, so that you're not using them for the same expenses at the same time. That's really important to know as well. So it goes into detail about how to apply. They made a change. The SBA made a change for the better. Before, they were requiring that businesses have a DUNS number, cage identifier, and be registered in SAM. They have since stated that they are no longer going to require that, just to make the process simpler. But that registration is required for the Shutter Venue Operators Grant. Okay. But the portal is forthcoming. You won't need the SAM registration, but you do need to make sure that you're preparing for the applications when they open. So these are some things that you're going to need to know, that you need to have ready for the application. And then I'll go through the application itself really quickly. I'm not going to go into detail, but just to let you know what you can be prepared for. And start gathering your documents, getting organizing a folder specifically for this, and pulling all your records together, contacting your accountants or your tax preparers to make sure you have every single piece of document you need to qualify for this program. So, like always, okay, like with some of the other programs, they will verify your tax records. So they're going to request, the SBA will request the IRS form 4506T to be completed and signed by you, the applicant. Completion of this form digitally through the SBA platform to satisfy this requirement. That allows the SBA to request your tax returns directly from the IRS. That is going to be a requirement. Gross receipts documentation. Any of the following documents that demonstrate gross receipts or gross revenue, if applicable, for eligible expenses. So your business tax returns may be, just depending on how you file, Could be a 1120 form or 1120S. It could be your 1040 Schedule C or IRS form 1040 Schedule F. For partnerships, you may be able to provide your form 1065, including K1s, bank statements, external, internal prepared financial statements, such as your income statements or your profit and loss statements, and point of sale records. So I said before, if you're using PayPal or Square or Stripe or any of these fintech companies to input your sales, you will have those records there. They show every single sale that you have made, the day that you made them, their time stamp, their date stamp. So if you're using these types of tools, it should not be easy for you to bring to be able to gather these informations. If you're using an accounting tool, getting financial statements should not be difficult. It becomes challenging when if you're in a situation where you're not using these tools, when you're not properly and accurately reporting your income, then it can become a problem. Okay. But those are the types of documents that they are going to ask for. For applicants that are like brew pubs, tasting rooms, tap rooms, breweries, wineries, and distilleries, you may have to show or any of the categories that I mentioned where there's a 30% gross receipts that you must show that's allocated towards food and beverage sales. You will need to provide evidence of on-site sales to the public comprised of 33% of gross receipts for 2019, which may include Tax and Trade Bureau Form 5130.9 or TTB. For businesses who opened in 2020, applicants' original business model should have contemplated at least 33% of gross receipts and online sales to the public. One thing to note, you have not heard me say that you had to have been in business as of a particular date. That's because, unlike the other programs, there is no requirement for a particular day. What it's saying is that it gives you dates if you were in business before a particular date, how you calculate, and if you were in business after a particular date. But so for all the new businesses, you can apply. There's nothing that says that there's a hard stop date in January, a hard stop date in February. If you started your business in 2021, you can still be eligible for this program. So again, there's no dates that are listed as far as being required. So if you have a restaurant and you fit in any of these categories, you can qualify for this program. Okay. When to apply. So you're not going to apply right now. What you're going to do is start getting ready. So again, it's stating right here, the first day through the 21st day is going to that priority group, that set aside group of women, veterans, and other disadvantaged businesses. It will be open to all after that once that 21 days have expired, 22 days through the time in which this program has either exhausted funds or they have established a deadline. Okay. So, and to fit under any of these priority groups, you must own at least 51% of the business. So a woman must own it, or a veteran, or socially economically disadvantaged. Applicants must also self-certify on the application that you meet all eligibility requirements. This is something that comes standard with these applications. Socially disadvantaged individuals who have been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudices, cultural biases because of their identity as a member of a group without regards to their individual qualities. And what defines the economic disadvantaged individuals are those socially disadvantaged whose ability to compete in free enterprise system has been impaired due to diminished capital or credit opportunities as compared to others in the same business area. So here's the set-asides breakdown. $5 billion is set aside for applicants with 2019 gross receipts of no more than $500,000. An additional $4 billion is set aside for applicants with 2019 gross receipts of $500,001 to $1,500,000. And then number 3, an additional $500 million is set aside for applicants with 2019 gross receipts of not more than $50,000. So the SBA reserves its right to reallocate these funds as necessary. Okay. And then it goes into different calculations and how to use the funds. You can use these funds on business payroll, mortgage obligations, business rent, business mortgage, business rents, business debts, both principal and interest that do not include any repayment of principal and interest, business utility payments, maintenance expenses, construction of outdoor seating, business supplies, including protective equipment, cleaning materials, business food and beverage expenses. So your raw material costs, covered supplier costs, and normal business operating expenses. And then it gives you information on here for their call center support. And you can also contact your local district office. Once they open up the application portal, I'm quite sure that they will actually have a designated email for applicants where you can contact them either by phone or by email to get a status on your application. Okay. So I hope that have made sense. And for those of you that are just coming on, again, we're talking about the Restaurant Revitalization Grant Program by the SBA. This is a $28.6 billion fund program that is for those that are in the restaurant industry. So if that is you, if you own a restaurant or a bakery, a catering service, you sell food, you sell drink, let me know in the comments if this is you. I encourage you to apply. So before I go, I'm going to share one more. Again, I said I was going to share the application or version of it, right? So the SBA will always provide a form version of their application. That doesn't mean you take this and that's what you're going to use. They're providing the overview in it. They're providing everything that will be in the application, but it will actually be an online portal that you will use. Okay. So let me just make sure that it's populated to the screen. It is populated to the screen here. And I'm just going to scroll down here. It just starts with the first page that gives you an overview of the program, telling you who's eligible, how much you're going to possibly receive through the program. As normal, they're going to ask you for your business legal name. If you're doing business as, you definitely want to put that. They're going to ask you for your business address, your tax identification. They have on here your bank account. So again, these things you can get ready now. If you do not have a bank account that has ACH transactions that they accept, if they don't accept large deposits, your money will be rejected, and there's no guarantee if you are approved and they issue funds and it comes back that your account is closed, inactive, don't accept ACH debits, or don't accept large amounts, or your bank does not recognize your bank account as a business account and they reject it, there is no guarantee that the SBA will reissue that money. So you want to make sure you have everything that you need verified. So I would reach out to your bank now, ask them to let them know that you're applying for this grant, that you could potentially be getting a large sum of money. Is your account set up to receive an ACH debit? Is it set up to receive over a certain amount, or what is the max amount that you can receive in your bank account? If they get a transaction from the SBA, will it go into your personal account if that's what you have? Now, if you're a business, I say this many times, you need to have a business bank account, and your bank may say that. They may say, no, you need to open up a business bank account. If they tell you that, then that's exactly what you need to do. Okay. So they go through that on here, and it's saying applicant ownership lists all owners. So if you have multiple owners in your business, you're going to list all the owners that have at least 25% equity in the business. If it's just you, you're just going to list you. Okay. If there's other people, other businesses, you're going to list them. They're going to ask you for your form of organization, like how are you set up, your business structure. They're going to ask you these questions. So all of these types of questions, we have resources for you. They're on screen, our cheat sheet and our masterclass to help help businesses walk through, know what the types of documents they're going to ask for, how to verify these types of documents, because this is important. They wouldn't ask you questions that was not important to verifying your business and your business eligibility. Is asking too that you must review and respond to all of the questions, and they showing you the instructions here. And it's asking if you are a state and local government operated business. So again, if we go back, it says certain businesses are ineligible. So you want to make sure you go through these questions carefully, and then you're not marking yes where you should mark no, and marking no where you should be marking yes. Okay. But it's going to go through these certifying questions to make sure that you are indeed eligible in one. And then 2, which of the following describes your business? So again, you're going to that list of different restaurant types, right? Food industry types. They have the list here, and you're going to check off which ones apply to you. It's also asking you, is your business closed? Now, if your business is permanently closed, it's permanently closed, and you want to mark yes. If you mark no and you're not truthful on your application, the SBA will know, or they will find out, and you will be penalized up to jail time. So know that when you're self-certifying, once you self-certify and you sign and date the document, it is now a legal document that they can use against you if you're not telling the truth, okay? And applying with integrity. Number 4 is the applicant currently in bankruptcy. So they have those bankruptcy rules. If you're in bankruptcy, again, make sure you know what the requirements are, and you answer that as well truthfully and correctly. Did the applicant have first draw PPP? So now I said you can have first draw, right? You can get PPP, but these grants, like the restaurant and the shutter venue, will offset your amount with whatever amount you were funded for the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay, and it's going to ask you how much of the PPP you did receive, and it's also asking you if you received the second draw. It's asking you also on number 7, do you have any affiliates for your business? And number 8 is the applicant operating under a franchise for any type of a franchise license or some similar agreement. Are you in the SBA's franchise directory? Is the applicant and any owner presently suspended, disbarred from any of the programs? You're going to mark yes or no. What day did you make sales? So this is important. What date did you start beginning to make sales in your business? If you haven't made sales, they tell you that you can mark NA here. Okay, but you want to tell that. So I'm not going to walk through this entire table here, but know that on page 6, there is a table. It's called Table 1, calculation of funding amounts for applicants that were in operation prior to January 1, 2019. So I said that there's not a start date that's a criteria, but how you're going to calculate and how they're going to calculate is based on how you answer the questions in the tables provided. So if you were in operation prior to January 1, you're going to go through the table, and there are 9 questions on this table that you will need to answer, including entering your 2019 gross receipts. So this goes back to some questions people asked me before about your 2019 taxes. If they're not done, get them done, because not having your taxes filed is going to disqualify you or potentially delay, and delay will disqualify you because the funding is limited. Yes, it's a large amount, but there's millions of businesses that will be applying, and the program is only open as long as the funding is there. And again, they go on the first come first served basis based on how they're rolling it out in phases. So this is not something you want to be delayed on because you just did not do your 2019 taxes, right? Or even if you're a business and you didn't reflect your business income on your taxes, will disqualify you from this program. So be sure that your taxes are correct and that they're done and then they're filed with the IRS. Okay. Then you're going to enter 2020 gross receipts, and they're giving you some other information that you need to provide as well. Then they have another table on page 7, which is table 2. You're going to use this to calculate any amounts for applicants that began operation partially through 2019. So they are accounting for different scenarios that you may that may apply to your business, knowing that everybody was not. You may have started in June of 2019, or you may have started in October of 2019. So that table 2 that has the calculation. There's 9 questions on there as well that you need to fill out. Table 3 applies to those that are calculating. You're going to calculate your funding for applicants that's been in operation on or between January 1st of 2020 through March 10th of 2021. And for applicants that have not yet opened as of March 11th. So did you hear me? Applicants that have not yet opened their doors. So you started your business. This happens a lot in the restaurant industry. So you started your business. You're maybe building out your brick and mortar, your storefront, or whatever you're building out, but you have not yet started making sales. You still qualify for this program, right? So this form, they're telling you how you would calculate on this form. Table 4 is to be completed by all applicants. Okay, so it's asking you the purpose of the business. Is going to say select the purpose of the business, the restaurant revitalization fund. Select all that apply. Is also giving priority award of funds, so it's asking you to select which one that you are which one is applicable to you. Either you're a woman, a veteran, or socially disadvantaged, or you could be multiple in that category. And here they go through that self-certifying information again to make sure again that you qualify, that they have that 4506T that they will issue to you. That will be on their website, and more certifications on page 10, 11, right? And verifying your demographics on here. That is always optional. But that is important information as well. And then you will provide your authorized representative information, including name, phone number, email address, and title. And then you're going to sign and date the application. So again, this is an application. Take this. This is on the SBA website at sba.gov. Use it. Start working through the application. What I do is I have a Google Drive folder. You may use some other cloud drive, name it the Restaurant Revitalization Grant, and start dropping your files in there. Start filling out the information that you need so that when the applications open, you are ready. So I'm just going to go through here really quickly and see if there are any questions. Online bakery. Someone is asking about an online bakery. My understanding is that online bakeries do not count. I mean, this is something that we may get more clarification on. My understanding is that the public has to come to you. So if they're not coming to you in your home, then right. So if you have a home-based business and you're baking out of your home and they're not actually coming to a physical location, this may not apply to you. So the public must come to you. However, I mean, if you have online sales, right, and you have an online business, you can try to apply. I mean, I always say shoot your shot. The most they could say is no, right? It is decline you. But it does say, and again, I would go and read through in detail just to double check. But it's saying that the public is coming to you for food and drink is how you would determine if you qualify. And I know even those that have home-based businesses, your business have been impacted. But I would do some more research on that. I think I'm gonna actually reach out to the Restaurant Association and see if I can get some additional insight on that as well. They do have a 1-800 number too that I just mentioned that you can call and kind of inquire to see if you can get some additional clarification. That will be good as well. Okay. Okay, someone else is saying PPP has been approved. So just again, a reminder that if you are applying for these other programs, most other federal relief programs you can get, except for the Shutter Venue Operators Grant. Another thing is to know that this grant is also federally tax-free, right? It's tax-free at the federal level, and you can get tax deductions on expenses that you use this grant money for. If your state has it where it's tax-free, depends on your state. The last that I heard for some of the tax deductions, there were 13 states that were requiring you to pay taxes on the grants. So again, you want to work with your accountant, your tax preparer, and also reach out to your local and your state representatives. Because really, if it's federally tax-free, they really shouldn't tax it, but some do. Okay. If the federal government says it's tax-free and they don't want to burden you, then I think the state should do the same. But I'm not operating the states. All I can do is advocate for the change. If it was my state, but my state is not in that category. I don't see anything that says that your 2020 returns have to be completed. What they do say, and I don't know, I'm assuming it's going to be the same way. Even if your tax returns are not completed, meaning filed with the IRS, you still need to fill out your appropriate tax forms. They still need to be filled out, your 2020s. So whether you're filling them out or your tax preparer is filling them out, they do not have to be filed because the deadline isn't even here yet. Okay. Let me just see. I think those are all the questions here. All right. So this is another wonderful grant program that is available. The important thing is that we do the outreach, that more small business owners know about these grants. I mean, even those that don't speak English, like in the Hispanic community, maybe the Asian community, they have businesses, but they don't know about these programs. That's why through the SBA, SCORE, the Small Business Development Centers, the Urban Leagues, the Women Business Centers are going to be available to assist you with these grant applications to make sure that the disadvantaged, right, those underserved populations get access to the funding. They're set aside dollars. So we want you all to be able to get the funding that you need. Again, as always, tag a small business owner that you feel may fit into any of the categories that I mentioned. Share out the video with them. Sharing is caring. Okay, we don't want anyone to be left out. We don't want any more doors to close. We want businesses to be able to stay open. There's a good chance that more funding will become available. We'll just have to see how it plays out. They know more money is available. In addition to this grant, there are also states, counties, and cities that have special funds available for restaurants. I know here in Ohio, we've had them at every level, at the state grant, county grant, and city grant for restaurants. So get the money that is out there. It's there. It's available. Use the resources that we have, the grant tracker that we have on our website at www.shebosstalk.com. Simply reach out to your state business office or your county business office or your city business office and ask them, what do they have available as far as grant money or tax credits or whatever to help restaurant businesses? Or even if it's not a restaurant business, what do they have to support your small business? You want to be asking them. There is billions of dollars available, and more of it coming. Millions at the state levels in the form of grant money. And so I would continue to encourage you to reach out to your state and start applying for those local dollars. That's where the bulk of the money is right now. Is less competitive, right? Is less competitive. So go after that money that is available. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact. Continue to stay safe and good health, and have a wonderful and productive week ahead. Have a wonderful day.